It's December 4th, 2024. Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare, is on his way to attend an annual investor conference for his company when suddenly, at 7:12 a.m., Brian Thompson, age 50, was pronounced dead at Mount Sinai Hospital from 2 fatal injuries to his back. The hooded assailant made his escape through Central Park, using blind spots to avoid cameras, and was last seen on a bike leaving the city.
50-year-old Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare, was shot and killed in what appears, at this early stage of our investigation, to be a brazen, targeted attack.
Shortly after the shooting, investigators rushed to the scene and began to set up the crime scene in front of the New York Hilton Midtown. While in search of evidence, the police discover an unsettling, cryptic message written on the bullet casings found at the scene.
Deny, defend,
and depose.
Free them all! Free them all!
Similar to the title of this book, which hints at a possible motive.
Delay, deny, and defend. A common allegation against insurance companies which accuses them of delaying payment on claims, denying supposedly valid ones, and defending their actions by forcing the claimant into a lawsuit. With a possible motive for the killer, investigators went straight to CCTV cameras to track the killer's movement. Roughly a half hour before the shooting, the hooded assassin was seen ordering at a Starbucks on 6th Avenue, and at 6:30 a.m., he was seen speaking on the phone on his way from West 55th Street to 54th. Near minutes before the shooting at 6:44 a.m., the concealed killer waited across the street from the Hilton Midtown before quickly. Seconds after the murder, the killer made his way through this plaza, and shortly after, he went back to West 55th Street, got an e-bike, and made his way to Central Park. Before leaving, the suspect took a quick detour between Bethesda Fountain and the Rumsey Playfield. This is where he dropped his backpack off. Inside, the NYPD found Monopoly money and a black Tommy Hilfiger jacket. In search of the murder weapon, the police rushed to the nearby lake with scuba gear. Recovering nothing, they located the killer through a surveillance camera on 77th Street, where he was later seen entering a taxi, and after being dropped off at the George Washington bus station, he disappeared. Crossing the George Washington Bridge, the wanted suspect rode the Greyhound bus. Following its route, authorities traced the bus to Pennsylvania. This eventually led them to the city of Altoona. 5 days after the shooting, on a cloudy day in West Altoona, a disheveled man wearing a medical mask and a beanie eats breakfast in the corner of a McDonald's. Directly across from him, a customer on their phone discreetly captures a photo of the man as he lowers his mask. Noticing a striking resemblance between the man sitting meters away to the photos of the CEO killer broadcasted all over the news, the customer found a picture of the $10,000 in cash offered by the NYPD and $50,000 from the FBI, inevitably leading them to alert the authorities. Local police quickly arrived at the McDonald's around 9:14 a.m., confronting the suspect and inquiring if he had recently been to New York. This question made the man start to tremble. In the suspect's possession, the police seized a running laptop and a backpack. With an alleged illegal search, the police recovered a 9mm handgun with a handmade silencer and 3D printed receiver attached, 2 ammunition mags with multiple live cartridges, and a fake New Jersey ID said to have been used in the Hilton Midtown in Manhattan. On the ID, the convicted shooter's alias was written as Mark Rosario, born 1998, making the shooter 26 years old.
Luigi Mangione,
a 26-year-old man
who hails from a wealthy family from Maryland,
faces charges from 3 different jurisdictions: federal, New York State, Pennsylvania.
As is completely out of touch and is an insult to the intelligence of the American people and the lived experience.
Inside the Blair County courtroom in Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania, Luigi Mangione was charged with 2 felony charges of carrying a firearm without a license and forgery, 3 misdemeanor charges of tampering with records or identification, providing false identification to law enforcement, and possessing instruments of crime. Later that night, the state of New York filed a murder charge. Inside the Manhattan criminal courthouse, 4 days after the extradition, Luigi makes his first New York court appearance. His lawyer, Karen Agnifilo, then makes a record stating that the NYPD, FBI, and New York City mayor making a spectacle out of Luigi in the biggest perp walk she had ever seen. After her statement, the prosecutor, Joel Sedman, retorts by exclaiming the volume of evidence against Luigi, but admits to the possible quality issues with evidence obtained, stating that his team will comply with ethical obligations in trying Luigi Mangione's guilt. Denying all claims, Luigi pleads not guilty to all charges against him, including a new charge alleging murder as an act of terrorism. Part of the alleged evidence in the trial was a notebook said to be found on Luigi Mangione's person, containing a manifesto. To the feds, I'll keep this short because I do respect what you do for our country. To save you a lengthy investigation, I state plainly that I wasn't working with anyone. This was fairly trivial, some elementary social engineering, basic CAD, a lot of patience. The spiral notebook, if present, has some straggling notes and to-do lists that illuminate the gist of it. My tech is pretty locked down because I work in engineering, so probably not much info there. I do apologize for any strife of traumas, but it had to be done. Frankly, these parasites simply had it coming. A reminder, the US has the #1 most expensive healthcare system in the world, yet we rank roughly number 42 in life expectancy. United is the largest company in the US by market cap, behind only Apple, Google, Walmart. It has grown and grown, but as our life expectancy? No. The reality is these have simply gotten too powerful. They continue to abuse our country for immense profit because the American public has allowed them to get away with it. Obviously, the problem is more complex, but I do not have space, and frankly, I do not pretend to be the most qualified person to lay out the full argument, but many have illuminated the corruption and greed. For example, Rosenthal Moore, decades ago, and the problems simply remain. It is not an issue of awareness at this point, but clearly power games at play. Evidently, I'm the first to face it with such brutal honesty. Born in 1998 in the state of Maryland, Luigi Mangione was born into the unincorporated community of Towson. In late December, a few miles away from Luigi's childhood home, the manager's daughter at a pizza restaurant named Vito's Pizza hangs a photo of Luigi depicted as a saint. Soon after, a similar piece from an unknown artist shows up in Bethnal Green, East London, under a railway bridge. Other street artists all over the world quickly catch on, with this anonymous iconography leading to Luigi's message being recognized worldwide. In his earlier years, Luigi grows up the youngest of 3 siblings in a wealthy Italian-American household in the suburbs of Towson. His parents, originally from Baltimore, run multiple businesses, most notably their senior living facility and country clubs. In Luigi's 6th grade year, he withdrew from Catholic school, deciding to swap to the prestigious all-boys Gilman School. Soon after enrollment, Luigi becomes studious and is quickly seen as a leader to many of his peers. Among other sports, he picks up soccer, and in 2016, Luigi becomes captain of the Gilman robotics team. Later that year, he is nominated as the school's valedictorian. After graduating, Luigi is admitted into the University of Pennsylvania. Here, his interest in science and technology led him to major in computer science. Soon, Luigi begins to study rigorously, but his coursework is unrewarding. Burdened by brain fog and back pain, it was often hard for Luigi to read a book or watch YouTube. The pain stemmed from a spinal condition called L5 to S1 isthmic spondylolisthesis, where his 5th lumbar vertebrae slipped forward, pressing against the 1st vertebrae of his sacrum. Despite his ailments, Luigi continued to attend classes, joining the Phi Kappa Psi fraternity and founding UPenn's first game development club. Luigi later graduates from UPenn in 2020 with a bachelor's and master's degree in computer science. In 2022, Luigi joins a Surfbreak co-living and co-working community in Hawaii. Here, he spends his days at the beach with his new roommates. Inside the Surfbreak living space, Luigi and his flatmates hang out regularly and soon start a book club together. This is where Luigi first reads the Unabomber Ted Kaczynski's manifesto. In July of 2023, Luigi went in for spinal surgery, documenting this on his alleged Reddit account, Mr_Cactus, and later posting an x-ray on his Twitter profile. 6 months later, on January 23, 2024, Luigi writes his review of Ted Kaczynski's manifesto on Goodreads. Luigi states that Ted's writing was written off as the manifesto of a lunatic to avoid facing some of the uncomfortable problems it identified. He emphasizes that peaceful protest is too often ignored and violence is necessary to survive. At the start of the next month, Luigi texts his friend that he's going backpacking for a while. Soon after, he gets on a flight to Asia. In Japan, Luigi meets a famous poker player in a restaurant who finds Luigi friendly, and in early spring, he hikes Mount Omine. Months later, at a gun range in Thailand, Luigi practices his shooting, opting out of a beach day with two acquaintances he met in April. During this time, he starts to lose contact with friends and family. And in early July, Luigi's childhood friend finally gets a hold of him and asks if he's going to come to his wedding. Responding to this, Luigi sends a detailed message explaining how life has become difficult and soon ends the conversation. After arriving back from Asia, Luigi leaves his Honolulu apartment and suddenly he goes radio silent. On November 18th, 2024, Luigi's mom files a missing persons report in San Francisco where Luigi last worked, telling police that she last spoken to her son in July. On December 7th in San Francisco, a police sergeant alerts the FBI of a missing persons report made in November. This report identified Luigi, aiding the FBI and NYPD to match Luigi's face to the crime in Manhattan.
So let's say you want to rebel against deadly greed-fueled health insurance cartel. Do you bomb the headquarters? No. Bombs equals terrorism. What do? You whack the CEO.
In a federal court hearing in April, prosecutors reveal pages obtained from Luigi Mangione's personal notebook. Luigi's lawyer explains how this evidence was unlawfully obtained, along with medical records from Luigi's insurance company. His lawyer also accuses authorities of eavesdropping on Luigi's personal calls. Prosecutors deny these accusations and push for even more brutal charges against Luigi. Currently, Luigi Mangione is being held in the Brooklyn Metropolitan Detention Center, awaiting his next court date. While incarcerated, Luigi's legal fund has reached over $1 million. Another high-profile inmate, Sean Combs, has also been in prison here. It's been 7 months since the shooting in December, and Luigi's future isn't guaranteed. Today, Luigi awaits the death penalty.